Hello, dear ones. This is Dr. Olivia Thompson, and today I'm going to share something that could completely change your brain health. Did you know that the cup of coffee with white bread and jam that you have every morning might be silently stealing your memories? Sounds frightening, doesn't it? But don't worry, I'm here to show you how to transform your breakfast into a powerful ally for your brain, especially if you're over 60. Before we begin, I want to ask you, have you noticed that you've been forgetting names more frequently, or that you need to make lists so you don't forget simple tasks? If you answered yes to any of these questions and you're over 60, pay very close attention to what I'm going to share today. What we eat right after waking up can be the determining factor between keeping our memory sharp or accelerating the cognitive decline that many believe is inevitable with age. The good news is that small changes can bring surprising results, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Let's first understand what happens in your brain while you're having that traditional breakfast. When we consume foods with a high glycemic index right after waking up, such as white bread, processed cakes, and sugary cereals, we create a glucose spike in our blood. This spike isn't just bad for your waistline. It triggers a true inflammatory cascade that directly affects the hippocampus, the crucial brain region for forming new memories. Neurons, which are our brain cells, are particularly sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations, especially after overnight fasting. Research from Harvard University, one of the most respected institutions in the world, has demonstrated something alarming. Repeated consumption of breakfasts rich in refined carbohydrates reduces the production of a protein called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This protein is essential for the formation and maintenance of brain connections. It's as if we were weakening the bridges between our neurons every morning without even realizing. Let me share with you the story of Carlos, a 67-year-old retired university professor who came to my office. Carlos was always proud of his sharp memory. He could remember the names of all his students even years after they graduated. But gradually, he started noticing worrying changes. First, names began to slip away. Then, he started losing objects around the house: keys, glasses, cell phone. And finally, he began to feel confused during conversations, losing his train of thought. Carlos's medical tests were all normal, which only increased his distress. "I started to fear I was developing Alzheimer's like my mother," he told me during the consultation. And do you know what his routine was? Every morning I had coffee with milk, a French roll with butter, and a packaged orange juice. It had been my ritual for over 30 years. When I analyzed his diet, the problem became evident. Carlos's breakfast, which seems so common and harmless to most of us, was creating a perfect storm of brain inflammation every morning. You're probably wondering, what exactly are the silent villains in breakfast that harm our brain so much? I'll share with you the 5 most common foods in a typical breakfast that are true saboteurs of your brain health, especially after 60. First, we have white bread and croissants. The refined wheat in these foods is quickly converted to glucose in our system, causing neural inflammation. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire inside our brain. The second villain is packaged juices. Even those labeled as sugar-free contain high concentrations of fructose that overload the liver and increase brain insulin resistance. This means your brain can't efficiently use glucose as fuel, impairing neural functioning. Third, we have industrialized breakfast cereals. Hidden behind health promises and colorful packaging, most of these products contain more sugar than many desserts. A recent study showed that some whole grain cereals marketed as healthy contain more sugar per serving than chocolate. The fourth villain is cakes and cookies. These foods combine refined flour, sugars, and often trans fats. a triad that has been proven to accelerate cognitive decline. One study followed elderly people for 5 years and discovered that those who regularly consumed these foods for breakfast were 3 times more likely to develop memory problems. Finally, we have processed meats such as ham, bologna, and sausage. These foods contain nitrates and various inflammatory compounds that compromise brain circulation and increase oxidative stress. It's as if we were rusting our brain from the inside. Do you recognize any of these foods in your daily breakfast? If so, don't despair. As I always tell my patients, knowledge is the first step toward transformation. And now that you know which foods to avoid, let's talk about choices that can protect and even improve your memory. There are foods that, when consumed in the morning, create an environment of neural protection and regeneration. I'll share with you the 5 foundations of a truly neuroprotective breakfast. First, we have eggs, rich in choline, a precursor to acetylcholine, which is a fundamental neurotransmitter for memory. Studies show that regular egg consumption is associated with better performance in cognitive tests among the elderly. 2 to 3 times a week, include an egg in your breakfast. It can be boiled, scrambled, or in an omelette. The important thing is to consume both the white and the yolk, where the highest concentration of nutrients is found. The second neuroprotective food is avocado. This superfood is a source of monounsaturated fats and lutein, nutrients that improve brain blood flow and reduce inflammation. A slice of avocado at breakfast can be the secret to keeping your synapses functioning perfectly. Third, we have blueberries and other berries. These small fruits are true pearls for the brain. They contain anthocyanins, compounds that cross the blood-brain barrier and protect neurons from oxidative stress. A study from the University of Cincinnati showed that elderly people who consumed blueberries daily exhibited significantly higher activity in areas of the brain linked to memory. The fourth group of neuroprotective foods are walnuts and chia seeds. These foods provide omega-3 and powerful antioxidants that strengthen neuronal membranes and facilitate communication between brain cells. 1 tablespoon of chia or 2 walnuts per day already bring measurable benefit. Finally, we have plain unsweetened yogurt. This fermented food nourishes the gut microbiota, strengthening the gut-brain axis, which is fundamental for the production of neurotransmitters. Did you know that about 90% of serotonin, the well-being neurotransmitter, is produced in the intestine? That's why caring for gut health is essential for brain health. Now you must be wondering, Dr. Thompson, do these changes really work? Or is it too late for me? Let me tell you how Carlos's transformation went after he implemented these changes. After 3 months of replacing his inflammatory breakfast with neuroprotective options, Carlos returned to my office with a different gleam in his eye. It was as if a mental fog had dissipated, he told me. I started remembering names with ease again, resumed my daily reading without getting lost between paragraphs, and that constant feeling of confusion simply disappeared. And it's not just Carlos's experience that proves the effectiveness of these changes. Research published in the respected Journal of Neuroscience confirms that changes in breakfast can show noticeable results in just 6 weeks, with significant improvements in short-term memory, mental processing speed, and cognitive clarity. Imagine how your life would be if you could reverse years of mental fog in just a few weeks. Can you visualize what it would be like to recover that mental agility, that ease in remembering important names and dates? All this is possible with simple changes starting with breakfast. As Dr. Paolo Bertolucci, renowned neurologist from Unifesp, explains, the brain consumes 20% of the body's energy, but it is extremely sensitive to the type of fuel it receives. Swapping an inflammatory breakfast for a neuroprotective one can be the difference between aging with accelerated cognitive decline or an agile and functional mind into advanced ages. Now let's get to the most important point. How can you implement these changes in your life? I'll share 3 neuroprotective breakfasts that are simple, delicious, and powerful for your brain health. Option number 1, scrambled eggs prepared with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, accompanied by half a mashed avocado and a cup of green tea. This combination offers high-quality proteins, healthy fats, and antioxidants that your brain loves. Option number 2, plain unsweetened yogurt with a tablespoon of chia seeds, a handful of blueberries or strawberries, and a small portion of walnuts. This breakfast is rich in probiotics, antioxidants, and omega-3, creating the perfect environment for neural health. Option number 3, a vegetable omelette prepared with spinach, tomato, and a bit of white cheese, accompanied by a slice of true whole grain bread, the dense, dark kind, not the industrialized ones that just look whole grain. This meal combines proteins, fiber, and healthy fats, providing stable energy for the brain for hours. Can you implement at least one of these options in your morning routine? The key is consistency. It's better to make small, sustainable changes than to try to completely transform your diet all at once. The science is clear. Your breakfast isn't just a meal, but a potent daily medicine for your brain. The good news is that you don't need complex recipes or exotic ingredients, just intelligent substitutions based on solid scientific evidence. Start tomorrow. Replace the white bread with scrambled eggs with avocado and a portion of berries. Your brain will thank you today, and your memory will remain intact for many years. Visualize yourself 5, 10 years from now, still clearly remembering your grandchildren's names, recognizing friends on the street, living with independence and lucidity. All this can begin with the decision you make now about what you'll consume tomorrow morning. Always remember, aging is inevitable, but losing our cognitive abilities is not. With the right choices, we can keep our mind as sharp as our spirit. I hope this video has been helpful for you and your loved ones. If it was, don't forget to share it with that special person who could benefit from this information. Leave your comment telling me what your traditional breakfast was and what change you plan to implement. Subscribe to the channel for more content on brain health and well-being. And remember, small changes today, big transformations tomorrow. This is Dr. Olivia Thompson, caring for your health in a comprehensive way based on evidence. Until the next video.